Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. And for those for the women on my women's channel, because this is a simulcast, welcome to my spot, ladies. Hey, check it out. Matchmaking needs to make a comeback. And, just real quick, I said, as I was about to start filming this, recording this, I said, I need to tell the ladies this too. This ain't just a male issue, but just overall. And when I say matchmaking, I don't mean like a professional matchmaker charging you all these thousands of dollars and all of that and everything. I mean, yeah, they can still do their thing, but just plain old matchmaking. Because I was thinking about that. I've met quite a few women. Myself, I met quite a few women. And indeed, someone was trying to match me up with someone recently. I'm not gonna call their name and everything. They know who they are. And, it's interesting because it's actually an effective way to meet someone. And nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about that. Like one of the women, I remember this one young lady, and I was introduced by, one of her relatives and stuff. And she said, you know what? I think y'all would make a good couple. And at first I was like, oh, well, yeah. And I was just meeting a woman out of politeness to this particular person, right? But then when I met her, there was just an instant spark. Now there was some other stuff I ain't gonna get into why ultimately we couldn't get together. And that's where I was at the time, but it was an instant click. Cause I'm gonna tell you what, and then there's been other times to meet somebody, a friend that might've been a friend or something, who introduced us. And I say 90% of the time it was positive. There was one time though, I was like, what y'all thinking? But 90% of the time it was positive and, something came out of it and stuff. Because the thing is, when we're talking about relationships and meeting somebody, the key word, the root word is relate. When you have a mutual friend or something like that, it can take you a long way because they know both people and they have an idea, oh, you know what, I think they would be very good together. Like I said, in most cases, you got some, there's still a chance. No, it's not the case. But it takes a lot out of it because let's just be real on something. The best way to really meet someone is within a social circle. Just meet somebody cold or something like that, that can be tough. But when you're in the same circle, y'all going to the same places, stuff like that, you already have something in common. You already have something to talk about. And this is coming from whether a man's point of view or a woman's point of view. Because let's just be real, a lot of people have trouble just simply meeting someone. That's the biggest thing. That's why you have a whole industry with online dating. You have people trying to say, well, this is what you should do, where you should meet them. But you already have something in common when there's someone between y'all. In fact, in many past societies, even in past communities, it usually be an elder who can read people real well. And they say, okay, you two need to get together. And I don't mean like in arranged marriages or something, but just say, you know what, I think y'all would make a good couple. And I've actually said that to some couples before. There's been a couple times where I said, I looked at some people and I said, you know what, or they together. I said, you know what, I would have put y'all together. I would have put y'all together. In fact, I've actually set up some people I know, I know both sides, and I say, okay, you know what, I think y'all make a good couple. Boom, come together. And I say most of the times it worked. Most. It was still, sometimes the shit just ain't gonna work. But like I say, from my point of view, it's usually I might know someone. Like anybody who follows me on my Patreon or something, they know I talk about my, the pool of people. I just know women. But I ain't gonna try to hook up with every single one. But then I might know some dude and I say, hold up, let me put y'all two together, And like I said, it actually works most of the time. Because both sides, you can see it from the outside. It's just a question of whether or not they actually click. And it's not gonna be perfect, it's not perfect. But it still needs to make a comeback. Because a lot of people, they're not making those connections. Or they trying some artificial stuff. I'm gonna say this about online. It's not working for most people, let's just be real. It's not working for most people. In fact, you got guys complaining because they don't look like a Chad or Tyrone over there. And some women complaining, or women really be complaining and stuff because they looking for a certain type of guy. But when you're in a social circle or something, you got somebody who knows both of you, you have a better shot. Not a perfect shot, but a better shot. And that's one of the things, because let's just be real on here. Let's be real. Like on this, the men's side of this, most men ain't trying to be players. Most men are not trying to be players. On the woman's side of it, most women ain't trying to be some gold digging user or something. Most people, men and women, want just a good relationship. That's it. They just want a good relationship with somebody that they can at least look at. They don't have to be drop dead gorgeous, even though, or handsome and all of that. Don't have to be, as long as they presentable. Let's just be real. Let's start just being real when this relationship discussion. Like, most people are average. Average looking, you know. There's only a small percentage who are gonna have all that money, or a small percentage of women who are gonna be like, you know, that traffic stop and dime. So most people are actually realistic. And so, you know, if you got somebody who knows both and they can match make or something like that, say, oh yeah, I know somebody. Shoot, I've had women would ask me, do I know anybody? I've had women ask me. And I'll say, okay, let me think. Oh, okay. Let me hook y'all up. And like I said, got some success stories, got some less than successful stories, but it works overall. Because I'm gonna tell you what, one of the biggest problems is just men and women interacting. That's one thing I got against like the whole social media thing. A lot of people just ain't interacting, they ain't going out. That's why on the men's side of this, I say go out. And I tell the women that too. Shoot, go out. You know, go out. Go someplace, you know? Have a network of friends. It was like I've told the guys, you don't have to be trying to get with every single woman. Now I don't have to tell the women that, because women will always keep some guys in the friend zone. And that's cool and everything, but you know what? Like a woman, like I would say this to women, don't have that guy as an orbiter. If you got a friend or something and you know a guy pretty good, hook him up. Hook him up. if he's really a friend to you and stuff. Now, if and that happens, contrary to popular belief, men and women can be friends, you know, with nothing happening. Contrary to popular belief and stuff. But you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, it really does need to make a comeback. It needs to make a comeback because, look, people watching this on both sides. It's because of relationships. Because if a man didn't want a woman, he's not watching this channel. If a woman didn't want a man, she ain't watching my channel. You know, y'all not watching. I'll be talking about something else. There's a lot of people want me to go bigger on my Deep Thought channel, and I gradually will be. But you know, and I wish people would get more into my money channel. But the biggest thing is relationships. You know, I talk to other like professional relationship counselors, professionals, not somebody on YouTube or something like that. Like this is their business. I mean, like therapists and stuff, professional therapists. I talk to, in fact, just as an aside, a lot of stuff I'm saying is actually coming from licensed professionals, and they hit me up and say, hey, Rom, hey man, you need to throw this out there or something like that, you know? So I'm just saying, a thing that can help out a lot is just that old-fashioned concept of matchmaking. That professional stuff, like some elder or some friend or something to say, hey, yo, I got a buddy here. I think y'all make a good couple. Boom. Like I said, I got a good success rate with it. Haven't done anything in the last few years and stuff. Because actually, at least for the men, I get a lot of guys hit me up privately. They already getting women like crazy. They just want to manage it. And the women, yeah, I haven't known anybody for them who was single like that recent years and stuff. So anyway, but it is what it is, yo. It is what it is. It does need to make a comeback. So, you know, on my men's channel, ladies channel, let me know what y'all think, okay? Then be respectful. So anyway, That's all I got for today. Get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.